Now let's talk about my fifth and final point, which is figure ground. What I mean by that is how we separate our subject really from the ground around it. Our eyes will automatically separate the subject from the background, but if you can accentuate that, when you get this right, your subject will pop. There are several ways to do this. The most common technique is to use a very shallow depth of field, a very wide f-stop. But there are other ways, and one of the best ways I found is to incorporate some foreground right close up to your camera. It can be completely out of focus so that your eye is drawn to the subject behind because it's sharp and it can recognize what that is. You can see that in this picture I took of Mary's shell, where I had a sculpture in the foreground, just there to create that separation, to give the subject some isolation. You can do this in a few ways. You can play with contrast, light versus dark, sharp versus blurry, as I've just shown you, or use depth of field to isolate your subject. It creates clarity and impact by making your subject stand out distinctly from the background. And that's what I've done here in this portrait shot of this lady. She was stood under the canopy of something like a woodshed. It's very dark behind her, and that's helped to completely isolate her from what else is going on because she's got this perfect clear background with no distractions. And this principle taps into how our brains naturally separate elements in a scene, identifying what's important, the figure, and what's secondary, the ground.